Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like and subscribe. So we're going to talk about two narcissists together. Can they have a successful relationship? So we got to remember these narcissists, they lack empathy. Okay. They have that smaller, shrunken amygdala, the portion responsible for empathy. In order to have a connection with somebody, you need to have empathy. But a lot of them can have long-term relationships. They can get into marriages. One thing before I get into can they be successful, we have to remember why we want to know this. I'll go ahead and give you the information, but a lot of us, sometimes we struggle with revenge. We want karma to come to the narcissist. We are focusing on something that we kind of need to for a little bit of time to heal, to kind of understand, to have some of our questions answered, because often our feelings and our emotions and the discard wasn't validated. We've been struggling for validation. So I know what you guys are going through. I know why you want to search for these answers. But I hope you transition, or at least have a good balance of researching the stages of grief, how to heal, how to move on, how to rewire your brain, because you did receive brain damage, probably CPTSD from this, but we do have this longing to get some answers. It's very hard to understand because it's outside of our realm. And I relate it to me not understanding how, abusive parents can put a cigarette out on a kid. You just can't understand it. They had their reasons. I was bored. I thought it was funny. I wanted the kid to shut up, or whatever their reason is. We're not going to understand it. We're going to be like, what? So with these narcissistic relationships, when we see how cold and calculated, and sometimes they had these memory lapses, they fill things in with lies, they believe their lies, they don't even know their own reality, they cause us not to know our reality. So the narcissist is still the narcissist. Now you bring somebody else who's more damaged than your empathetic person, too damaging and damaged, but damaging people. So they're going to damage each other. So in the beginning, it seems like, yeah, like you said, this is a viewer topic. They're love bombing the hell out of each other. That's their manipulation tactic. That's what works for them. So yeah, they're both doing it. They're both feeding off of it. How amazing in their eyes, all these trips or gifts, or they're just, that's like their love language. That's what works for them. So they're enjoying it. Just like if you and I went to a concert tonight, we like this band, we're going to enjoy it. We're going to be pumped up and feeling alive and enjoying it. It doesn't mean you and I are in love. We're caught in a moment. So the narcissists, when they're love bombing each other, they're caught in that moment, because that's how narcissists live, moment to moment. But they don't want to always be alone. So they'll latch on to somebody, and that is their supply. So both of them needed a supply. So they have a supply, and that supply is love bombing them. And, sometimes empathetic people do that too. We like to give gifts. We like to plan things because we feel we're on top of the world. So, we have to be cautious too. I don't know this couple that this viewer is talking about. Maybe it is an empathetic person love bombing back, but not, it goes to the intent. It goes to the intent, because if I was to give you a gift, I'm an empathetic person. Just because I gave you a gift doesn't mean I'm trying to fuck with your mind, secure you a supply, get you to do things for me. Some people are just genuinely giving. But if they are two narcissists, you'll see like horrendous arguments. There's possibility for cheating. Narcissists do cheat more often, but they'll probably have emotional cheating. They'll triangulate, they'll use flying monkeys, and now you got both sides doing it. And you causing those narcissistic injuries, and they're just gonna battle each other, but they kind of feed off of it for a while until they go a little bit too far. It's just like even with us, it's like Chinese water torture, where one little drop, it doesn't really bother you, 4 doesn't bother you, and it's just the repeated damage they're eventually going to get tired of each other, or they're going to do pranks on each other. Something's going to get out of hand. They're going to get caught in lies. Two narcissists are going to see through each other's lies. They're going to probably spy on each other. They're going to see through some of the lies. But a lot of narcissists are also really good at lying, so they're going to miss some of them too. But narcissists can, like I said, get married sometimes. So basically, spouses of narcissists end up sacrificing everything to be able to be there for the person, to please their partners who are so starved for praise. So as long as they're praising each other back and forth, but there's eventually going to be something that they encourage each other, praising each other. It feels good just because they might praise them so they get it back. And then one might get a little higher self-esteem, get a promotion. Now this other narcissist is going to feel less than, and they're going to hate it, and they're going to undermine this person or cut them down for it or make fun of them. Narcissists, they can say something like, oh, so you're the president of the company now, huh? They must pay you a lot to just sit at a desk and tell people what to do, as opposed to like really building you up. They'll always cut down your achievements. And after a while, that does, whether you're a narcissist or not, it will start to bother you. So narcissist couples are not able to provide love and affection to each other. They can have sex, and that's where they might feel a connection, but it's not a true heart-to-heart connection. So they can feed off of each other's energy. They can get their needs met, and it might seem like they're doing really well in the beginning, and that can last. The honeymoon stage can last for quite a while, but as soon as they start to see that their needs aren't getting met, the narcissist demands and their partner provides. So as long as they provide for each other, it's going to go. But the narcissist, what's going to happen when there's a conflict of interest, where for holidays, unless they both agree to always go to one side's family, or if they have a job transfer, things are going to get heated. Narcissists don't fight fair, I guess. Narcissists don't compromise. I had just come across something on a lack of, 1/3 of narcissists lack the portion in their brain that allows for compromise. So I want to research that more, because that's the first time I had heard that. But they might not have the processing skills to compromise. Just like, there's certain stages in development when we're children. You ask a 1-year-old, you have a popsicle in your hand, and are you going to say, well, can we compromise and you can have this and your brother? They're unable to do that. They don't function that way. So narcissists love to talk. They don't listen to things that matter. And unless it's about them, they're very demanding, and they don't give very much back. I don't like the word never that we come across a lot of times, because sometimes they do get back. Sometimes they can be kind. I talk about my narcissistic neighbor. He believes in paying it forward. He believes that, the good karma comes back on you. So he's doing it because his belief is self-serving. That's how he justifies it. He doesn't justify it as, I can relate. This is an example. I can relate to being hungry, and that's why I wanted to give this man some food, because of, I understand how he feels, so I don't mind giving him food. The narcissist turns it back on themselves. I give so I can get back. And it's in that karmic realm. It would be from somebody different, probably, the pay it forward stuff. And he hopes that those people, so there's that's a good action. but it's still self-serving. So that's where it gets tricky. I might give food because I know what it's like to give food because I've been hungry. And the narcissist looks at it differently. I will give so I can get back. We're both given the same amount. We're both doing a good act. We're both doing a good act. But what is the purpose? What is the intent on it? So when we're in a relationship, intent matters. You're the hungry person on the street. It doesn't matter if the narcissist wants good karma, or doesn't matter if I'm good-hearted. You just want your burger. But in a relationship, intent matters. And long-term relationships, it matters. Because that homeless person getting a burger and we go off about our day, they're not going to get bitched at. They're not going to get cut down. They got their food. They're not. In a relationship, you're stuck with each other. So two self-serving people, it's harder. You know, and I compare it to this, and I hope this is okay with you guys for me to say this. I'm heterosexual, but I kind of wonder like what that would be like. Not that I'm interested in it, but just kind of like what would, you know, I can kind of understand two women having the best friendships because girls like to talk in a romantic relationship. Okay, so we're not going to get into the sex thing, but two women like to talk. But I think like women with hormones and things like that, sometimes we do, you know, get a little cranky and stuff like that. So I would think it's could be really good and really bad because of like hormone surges. Because I know with me, when I would have hormone surges, it caused me to say things or feel things, and it gets you a little off whack. I try to control myself. I'm like feeling a little bitchy, and I'm like, don't say, shut the fuck up. I'm like, did I just say shut up? I didn't say fuck, but I'd say something and like, stop, you're driving me crazy. And I'm like, normally I would be like, you know, okay, settle down instead, but it caused you to talk kind of the wrong way because of things that hormones. So, or feeling agitated. So narcissists, they have something kind of like that, where their brain signals are causing them to act off balance. Just like when I went through hormone surges, you're trying to act a certain way, and it's almost, you do control it, but there are times you're just like, or you just start crying. You don't know, you're like, why am I crying? Why am I so emotional? It just happens. And you can kind of research it back. It's probably the hormones or maybe low blood sugar, whatever, but there's usually a reason. The narcissists, their reasons for acting out go to the brain activity. So that's going to happen. There's that narcissistic cycle. And I relate it to a female cycle, which is different because of hormones. But my analogy is two women, it'd either be really good during the conversation and tender times and hugs and stuff like that. And then the bad times would be a little bit more extreme in my eyes. I could be wrong. But narcissists, in my eyes, if they're two narcissists and they're love bombing each other, it's just like those two women, it's going good. It's going good. But when they have that hormone surge, as an analogy, their brainwave surge, it's going to be like uncontrollable, just out of control, and toxic. They're going to hurt each other because they are sensitive. They have that low self-esteem. And that's kind of where the narcissist, when they're like, you're being too sensitive. Sometimes it's because they're so sensitive, they put up a brick wall that they won't let their sensitive side out. So we can't reach them, we can't bond with them. And the two narcissists are going to do that. They're going to have these walls. They're both not going to know each other. And those masks are going to fall. Narcissists sometimes love the chaos. So they're going to feed off that chaos, but it's going to be a bitch fest. I just went to this what do you call it? Like a mud fest, quad running, things like that. First time I've ever been. And I've been really doing a lot of people watching, and you can kind of see like the toxic relationships. A lot of them dabble in drugs or alcohol, a little bit more to the extreme, not just so like you can tell that they drink a lot. So there was this one couple, and I'm just meeting them, and you're kind of, I'm there for about a week and kind of seeing their interpersonal relationship and the way they handle things, the way they kind of ignore each other, the way they bitch under their breath. You can spot, once you start learning, you can spot who is at least narcissistic, who is self-serving. And it was interesting to see the entitlement. I was helping, and they weren't participating in the helping for their stuff. I already did a bunch of stuff for them, just cleaning up the camp. And, I'm trying to help them, and they're just doing their own thing. And I'm like, they don't even accept help. So the way they live their lives is different. So the narcissist, it's possible for two narcissists to get into this relationship. And, sometimes similarities attract. A second possibility is that since narcissists aren't really desirable life partners, they kind of scrape up the leftovers. Now mine present very well. I have two. They present very professional, very good looking, neat freaks, high dollar things that they purchase. But as far as the compassion, that part's the not desirable, but everything else is like almost to where you'd want to be jealous of their life. So I wouldn't say that, they're trashy people. They're just unkind, cold people. But some of them, I do see some that are the less than desirable. Those. So anyways, non-narcissists will probably find somebody that reciprocates their love and the caring that they provide. So finally, what might also be true is that they're attracted to the perfect image a narcissist puts forth. They might like how they appear as a couple. So, we're the good looking couple, or we're the rich couple, or we're the fun couple. And I think my second one, they're seen as like the fun couple, and, the wild one. So they just feed off of that. And it seems to be going good. But I'll tell you what, there's no way that narcissists will maintain treating people the way they need to be treated. Something's going to happen. They're going to, some of their injuries, the narc injuries that they talk about, are misunderstandings. And they don't like to talk through things. So those narcissists, they like to talk over each other. So there's never going to be problem resolution. They're both going to be shouting. They're not going to be listening to the other. They're not going to be trying to like self-reflect on how did I do that wrong? They'll be like, fine, whatever. And they just bandage over it with some more love bombing. Love bombing is a manipulation tactic to secure you. And when you're an empathetic person, they start taking advantage of it. They see it as a weakness. As soon as we show a little weakness, they knock us down. So the narcissistic couple, they're weak on the inside, but they project strength, boss over you type stuff, and knowing what we're doing this. And yeah, there's two types. There's the grandiose and the vulnerable. So I'm going to kind of not get too long in this. We'll go more into it. So the science between these narcissistic couples, there's a recent study that a narcissist is likely to have a narcissistic partner in long-term relationships. And this relates back to some Machiavellianism, psychopathy, It's also a valuable finding. It supports the thesis that likes attract. Now, we were probably, it's that mirroring. So even among people who normally might be better complemented by less self-absorbed individuals, sometimes they just feed off it, partners in crime. And the narcissistic couples don't really know how to form that intimate, loving relationship, but they have that enough in common that they overcome it and end up married. So the studies show that it's not that people become alike in time. Two narcissists will be attracted to each other in the first place. And when you think of how dissatisfying a life with a spouse of a narcissist is, you might be happy that you're not stuck in that type of relationship. But the similarities between these two narcissists can make them feel attracted to each other. It's that mirroring. They might find solace in being with somebody who has the same value system. Their expectations from a relationship are different. So, just like if I was caring for a disabled child, my expectations would be different based on their limitations. You got to have high standards because you want your kids to excel, but there are limitations. So the narcissists kind of pick up on that. They just focus on, what works for them. And this difference can become the cause of a lot of friction and dissatisfaction. But when a narcissist is in a relationship with another narcissist, they have similar expectations. They speak the same language. And both narcissists can agree on the level of proximity that they'd like to maintain and not find each other's behaviors odd. Sometimes too, that's why you see open relationships, you see polyamorous, because they're like, yeah, I agree to that. I don't see anything wrong with it. And I'm not passing judgment. I'm just trying to get into the mind of a narcissist on, if they're cool with that, why not? And somebody either more religious might see it as a relationship challenge or a relationship deal breaker. But the narcissist, they self-indulge. So, oh, you were drunk again. Okay. Oh, you didn't pay the bills. Well, there we go again. Because it's kind of like that chaos they're used to until it gets to a breaking point. It's going to be heated. It just depends on what people want. What is the most important when it comes to a narcissist? It's not the person. So the two narcissists, are they paying their bills? Are they maintaining what it was? Are they maintaining the good looking couple status, or was what was important? They're the rich one. So when they start getting ugly in old age, you know what I mean? Everybody's beautiful in their own way. When they start to age, it might change, especially if one stays better looking than the other or younger, because they love the youth. They love youth. So everybody is different. If they want finances and one loses the job, that might be the destruction, because they can go along, but their idealization brought them to being the rich couple, and that's their desire to show the world. When that starts to crumble, they're going to start having more animosity. They to death do us part. They kind of have as long as it works out, they don't go into it like the two narcs I had too had said certain things too that lead you to see that they have a different view on marriage. So will it work out? How long will it last? It can last forever. It can last for a week. Sometimes the marriage is when it falls apart. Sometimes getting pregnant is when it falls apart, or the baby's born and it's too much of a hassle, or having to share raising the child. jealousy, different little things. So there's no real predictability. The only thing that's predictable is it will be unhealthy. And you got a double dose of it, you know, double dose of toxicity. So it'll probably end quicker or be more destructive. There'll definitely be holes in the walls. They're going to punch some holes. So anyways, thank you for that. I hope it helps. They can be in relationships. It can be for a long time. Sometimes, I've seen so many narcissists break, the engagements break apart. Some do, quite a few still get married. So don't worry so much about them. It's okay to have some information on it, but focus on yourself. And I hope that helps give some answers, because I know sometimes we want that person back. We love our abuser. So we have to understand why. And I did a video on the water. There was this one where this person drank a gallon of water a day. And at first it started cleaning them out, started making them, a little healthier, I guess you could say. But eventually it started throwing off their electrolytes. And then the person started to crave water. Now, if they would have not had as much water, they would have rebalanced and been healthier. But they were craving what was causing, starting to cause failures in their organs and causing them. You can die from drinking too much water. There was a lady at Northville Mental Hospital. I'm not sure if it was called hospital or institution. I want to say, I don't know. It was an institution, but she died from drinking too much water. So you can definitely do that. But our body starts to crave it. So we're craving toxicity because we're trying to rebalance. So we can't indulge in the things that are causing the toxicity, just like drinking too much water is causing toxicity and death. Being with a narcissist, when it stays toxic, when they're not aware of what they're doing, when they're not willing to change, it causes the death of a healthy relationship. So big hugs to you guys. And today was the day that I reached 1,000 subscribers. So keep sharing the love and subscribe, share with your friends. Topic requests are welcome. And I do one-on-ones as well. See you soon.